Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to this women's basketball neutral site contest here at Cave Arena. Chad Hall, Eric Edmondson alongside me this afternoon. Eric, another fun day of basketball ahead for us with Huntingdon facing the Birmingham Southern Panthers.
Yeah, definitely an exciting matchup between these two. It's going to be a good old-fashioned Alabama rivalry, both of them coming across a couple borders to play here. And Huntingdon especially is going to look for a rebound after they got really beat down by the Asbury Eagles last night.
Yeah, the Asbury Eagles really showed up to play last night for what I would call a statement victory after defeating Huntingdon by 39 points to end our slate yesterday. And they will be joining the Collegiate Conference of the South in the academic year 2024. So this coming fall, they'll be joining the conference. And Eric, starting lineups for both sides look pretty similar from what we saw yesterday. First, for the visiting Hawks.
Yeah, you're going to have a similar starting five that they had. They're going to try to run it back, but definitely better after the fight against Asbury. You're going to have number 35, Brianna Magruder. Number 4, Kinston Davis. Watch out for her. She had a great second half last night. Number 11, Lauren Lynn. Number 20, Cassidy Campbell. And number 34, Deshauna Foote.
And for the visiting Panthers, we'll have number 14, Ojiwani. Number 15, Jaleesa Keys. Number 2, Audra Putman. Number 4, Maya Cable. And number 23, Sheridan Foster. This is the exact same starting fives we saw for both sides yesterday when, obviously they played two different opponents, Birmingham Southern playing Piedmont and Huntingdon facing the Eagles of Asbury. But we have a very good matchup between these two sides. Historically, not sure what the matchup is between the two sides, but obviously we're in for a good one, a little old-fashioned hate Alabama-style rivalry, and we are underway at 1:59 p.m. here at Cave Arena, and Magruder will get the party started early underneath the basket for two.
Huntingdon definitely needed that after taking the loss in that fashion yesterday. We talked about before we went on air how this might just be a very physical and traditional Huntingdon Hawks game.
And an early turnover for the Panthers. Kinston Davis trying to get into the lane, and we're going to have an offensive foul as Foster. Nice little push-up there after taking the foul.
Yeah. Foster, you got to watch out for her, too. She really gave the Lady Lions yesterday trouble up and down the floor. She's a very versatile player. She's very quick, and she can play within the arc very well.
And it looks like Keys will have a seat early and make way for Harris this afternoon as Foster controls for the Panthers. And Putman, Foster again. Foster pull-up mid-range is good. All even at 2. Hawks control now, looking to slow the pace. If history repeats itself, both women's contests yesterday were up and down action all afternoon. The dump off to Magruder just on the elbow, pass back to Lynn. Lynn off the glass for 2. Foster, the focal point of the Panthers offense, controls just across the timeline, gets through, finds into the mid-range, and we'll have a held ball, but it will stay with the Panthers. Towns will step in for Ojiwani. Putman to inbound for the Panthers. Tried to get it underneath the basket and knocked away by Magruder. Putman to inbound, looking for an outlet. Tried to get it to Foster, but taken away by Davis. Davis out and running. And a blocking foul will go against, looks like Cable. Cable looked to be in the restricted area.
Yeah.
Pretty good pace to start us off, Eric.
Very good pace. The Hawks, a lot of turnovers for them, a lot of stealing the ball as Magruder puts it up there. And it seems like they're obviously playing better to start off, but they're a lot more similarly sized now. Against Asbury, there was a little bit of a height differential in some aspects, as well as like a wingspan differential. But here, against a similarly statured and sized opponent, it seems like their game plan is working more to their standard.
And as we see already, Huntingdon really active on defense, has forced 2 or 3 turnovers to start the contest as Putman will step out. Looks like Keys will come back in. Huntingdon to inbound at the opposite hash. Take it over the timeline and set up the offense. Magruder down low. Double team comes. Kinston Davis tried to bounce pass down low, but it'll ride out of bounds for a Hawks turnover. Towns controls for the Lady Panthers. Over the timeline at the Cave Arena logo. Dribbles right. Off the double screen up top. 3-point attempt. Off the back iron. Great rebound by Foster. Foster
That's
showing
what can
off
make
the
her
Hawks.
so dangerous.
Right. Foster does everything right.
She does, and she knows her way in the paint. She knows how to not only handle the ball, but you saw it there. She knew exactly where that ball was going to ricochet off, and she knew exactly where to be. And here gets her team the possession.
Towns inbounds it to Cable. Cable on the near side in front of the Huntingdon bench. Tries to get it down low to Harris. Harris off the window for 2. This is shaping up to be a great rivalry matchup between the two Alabama sides.
Yeah, you've already seen the little bit of the physicality on display. Sure, there's going to be more in the bank.
Magruder down low. I don't believe they'll count the basket. It looks like they're going to have... Looks like it's a foul on the floor. We'll see Killen step in for her first time this afternoon. Keys back to the bench for Coach Johnson. Underneath the basket. Offensive rebound back with the Hawks to put up for 2.
Beautiful floater there from Deshauna Foote.
Deshauna Foote is destined for a big game after yesterday.
Yeah, her and Davis really started to turn it up towards the end versus Asbury. They started to find their footing, and coming out the gates, Huntingdon definitely looks like a different squad. And as I said before, they're playing their game now.
Panthers control now on their offensive end. Cable down to Harris. Harris pull up mid-range is good. That was something that made Harris so dangerous yesterday afternoon, was her ability to shoot the mid-range and shoot it very, very consistently.
Yeah, a lot of the Panthers are very dangerous from mid-range, especially that top 3 of Foster, Harris, and Cable.
Magruder kicks it out. 3-point attempt, no good. Rebounded by Killen. Killen will give it up to Foster. Foster pushing tempo. Decides to slow it down at the hash. Down low to Harris. Harris pull up mid-range. No good. Rebounded by Killen off the window and back in for 2.
Panthers opting for more size here and definitely helped them out there as they were able to get the rebound.
Foot controls. Just outside the 3-point line. Down low. Up and no good. Magruder is fouled on the way up. Will go to the line and shoot 2.
Summer Killen has come in and has now played a very good role so far with this comp that the Panthers are running out. She brings the size up, and she immediately is just kind of stopping whatever offense in the paint that the Hawks are trying to put forth and forcing them to go to the line.
Magruder to shoot the second. Off the front of the rim and rebounded by Towns. Towns slows the pace. Tries to get it over to Foster. Jackson in front of her. And a costly turnover. but they'll give it right back. Foster pulls it back out. Down low to Ojiwani. Jackson takes it away. Jackson one-on-one. Euro step into the lane and in.
That's twice on that same drive from the Panthers. Cannot have that. You got to know the pass, and you got to know where your teammate is. You got to know where that ball's coming from, and I guarantee you that's what Coach for Birmingham Southern is about to lay out. Coach Nyla Johnson, down there.
And a 30-second timeout will bring us into our first timeout of action. Eric, what have you seen so far?
Obviously a lot of pace, a lot of fast tempo, and that's what we love to see in this competition. They're both trading shots, and right now, Huntingdon is, I would say, they're definitely winning this battle in the long run. Obviously, the score is a lot closer than that would indicate, but Huntingdon is able to get the steals ready to get this away, and they're back to their basics after being very rattled yesterday and having to adapt to whatever the Eagles were throwing at them that we're still trying to decipher up here because we've never seen that before. But Huntingdon now facing off against a opponent that they may or may not be familiar with. We don't know the matchup history between these two squads, but they have obviously seen this before, and they are now playing like the Huntingdon of old.
Huntingdon leads by 2 to bring us back out after the first time out of the afternoon. Towns will inbound it for the Panthers. Give it up to Foster. Great defense there. Manages to keep it inbounds. And there will be a foul on the far side of the court. Ford was fouled.
Michaela Ford also played a huge part in that second half. She was able to pull 3 from, of course, range, but just when the Hawks could not find any sort of shooting, I think it was maybe to start the second half, it was that Davis and Ford really kind of started saying, okay, we need to shoot more. We're not going to be able to be as physical as we want to in the paint, so let's go ahead, let's range ourselves and start making our other offense work.
And we saw Tellis step out for Woods. And the second attempt will fall for Ford. Towns controls for the Lady Panthers. Down low to Ojiwani. Ojiwani off the glass for 2. Over to Rodriguez. Ford controls up top. And Foster is everywhere. Foster takes that one away. Foster pull up. But there will be an offensive foul on Foster.
That's a difficult call.
Looked to be that I think Ford drew the foul, and looked like Ford was in the restricted area.
Yeah, Foster did everything that she was supposed to there. Just did not go her way.
Ford controls on the far side, crossover. Pull up mid-range, no good, rebounded by Towns. Woods pull up, no good, rebounded by Killen. Killen back off the glass for some second chance opportunities. Ford controls, bringing it up. Rodriguez, far side. Ford pull up mid-range. Looked like it was blocked. Put back up off the front of the rim. And it'll stay with the Hawks. Couple substitutes. Cable and Harris come back in for the Panthers. Ford to inbound. Up to Jackson. Jackson lets it fly. The window. Bank is open, even on Sunday. Over to Towns. Towns gets to the block. And another offensive foul. Towns is called for the offensive foul, and there's a lot of uproar off of that one. That one looked to be the same as the one before.
It did look like to be just a carbon copy of that play from Foster just about a minute ago. Panthers traveling well today. They got it to some vocal crowd members here. But, yeah, going to be all about feeling out the ref, and that is just going to go towards the Panthers' way. And they haven't really been blessed with anything from the Stripes just yet. So they're definitely going to have to work around them and maybe go towards shooting more.
And that'll be a foul on Ford after the Jackson turnover. Got nabbed for a travel on the near side of the court. Looks like Deshauna Foote will step back in. And Michaela Ford will step out. Towns to inbound. Towns gets it into Cable. Cable crosses right to left, gets it over to Woods, to Harris. Cable now. Cable right to right. In the mid-range, tries to throw it over. Stuckey grabs it. Stuckey one-on-one off the glass, and another offensive foul.
So Colorado offensive fouls is what we're seeing.
Yeah, and that's been the story so far. A lot of charges.
A lot of them. We knew coming in that these two teams were going to definitely try to be very physical with each other. We haven't really seen a lot of the jostling in the paint that you might expect from it, but certainly plays like that have been called.
Cable tried the floater on the baseline, but Stuckey came away with it after the rebound. Jackson, Foote, down to Stuckey. Jackson for three. Air ball. Looks like Woods stepped out of bounds after grabbing the miss. And a lot of substitutes early on. Woods will step out. And Putman back in. Rodriguez thought about it. And there will be a travel. Looks like that one on Shaw. More substitutes. Cable steps out, Foster back in. Foster over to Keys. Foster has it again. Killen in the corner to Keys. Harris pull up mid-range is good.
Beautiful sequence there by the Panthers.
Foote controls for the Hawks. Brings it across the timeline. Rodriguez from way downtown. Yes! Back in fourth action to start us off. 2 minutes remain in the first. Handoff to Foster. Foote in front of Foster. Look to find the backdoor cut. Down to Harris. Harris, one dribble spins. Putman from way downtown. Right back at you.
That is the danger of putting Aubrey Putman in there. She is a shooter. And that's exactly what the Panthers are looking for right now.
Foote to the middle. Jackson, far side. Back to the middle. And into the lane. And looks like it'll be another travel call. Looks like Magruder will step back in after the travel call. Keys to inbound for the Panthers. Foster brings it across the timeline. Goes to her right, fights through two screens. Nice hop step, but no good. And we're going to have a held ball. It'll stay with the Hawks. Couple substitutes. Towns back in for Keys. Deshauna Foote has it. Over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez puts the ball on the floor. Tries to get it through the defense. Taken away by the Panthers. Putman controls. Hand off to Foster. Towns far side. Towns goes baseline. Ojiwani through the lane. Off the glass and no good. Rebounded by Magruder. Hawks moving quickly. Rodriguez for three. No good. Brought back down by Stuckey, but no good. Putman came away with it. Foster to Towns. And looks like we're going to see a foul. I believe that's on Deshauna Foote. Subs, Lynn and Campbell will come back in for Rodriguez and Stuckey.
If you look at the floor right now, the Panthers have kind of sneakily built out a lot of height. You have Aljuwani, who started for them today, but you also have Harris, who's one of the regular five, but you also have Putman in there, who not only brings a little bit of height advantage and a little bit more physicality, she also brings that three-point danger.
Foster's first attempt from the line was good. Second attempt is good as well. Some more substitutes. Woods and Killen back in. Foster and Harris to the bench. Foote to bring the ball up for the Hawks. 20 seconds and counting. Hawks had the chance for the last shot. Skip pass over to Lynn. Lynn was fouled. I believe it was a foul on the floor.
Yep.
But they are over the limit, so Lynn will shoot two from the line. 19-17 in favor of the Panthers. Lynn's first free throw attempt is good. 14 seconds left in the first quarter. Lynn's second attempt from the line is also good. We have a tie ball game again. And a couple substitutes for the Panthers. Towns to inbound. Now Birmingham Southern has an opportunity to take the final shot of the quarter. Harris controls from three. Up fake. Over to Foster. Foster pulls up and no good. At the end of the first, we are all knotted up at 19 apiece through the first 10 minutes of play. Eric, not a bad first quarter.
Not at all, and not a bad first quarter if you're watching this at home. We both knew this coming in was probably going to be one heck of a fun game, and it's shaping up to be that.
It's back and forth through the first 10 minutes, and that's all that you could ask for in a rivalry like this.
Exactly correct. The Hawks, they went on a run about halfway through the first quarter, and then once the Panthers made the substitutions, they started playing a lot more, I would say, on the barrier of the arc, not exactly outside of it, but they stopped getting under the hoop where the Hawks are really looking to steal that ball away, where they were doing that earlier because of just all the air passing and stuff like that from the Panther side.
Sure, and it seems like they're understanding the scouting report a little bit more, and they're trying to really spread the floor out and not be so congested in the paint and only search for those opportunities in the paint. But this is shaping up to be a good one so far. About to start the second quarter here inside Cave Arena. Chad Hall, Eric Edmondson with you this afternoon and with you all day, actually, if you're planning on staying tuned. After this one, we'll have Piedmont Women's taking on Asbury for what seems to be shaping up to be another heavyweight fight inside Cave Arena, but this isn't boxing, unfortunately, so. Towns controls for the Panthers. Smooth behind the back, and it looks like Jackson will be called for a reach. Did she just call that an arm bar?
Arm bar. Yep.
So maybe it is boxing or combat fighting.
Yep. It was either bar or guard, she said. Something with an R in it.
Killen into the post. Tries to put it up and no good. Putman tried to make the stop, but it will right out of bounds.
Yeah, heads up, Coach Purdy sitting over there. She bought a ticket for front row seat, almost got the full experience.
She knows what it takes to be close to the action. Ford controls for the Hawks. Up to Lynn. Deshauna Foote from range. Yes! Hawks up by 3 after the Deshauna Foote 3-point attempt. Foster over to Towns. Ford playing a great brand of defense on Towns right now. Towns with no option gives it up to Harris. Harris with an up fake. Harris pull up mid-range. No good. Rebounded by Deshauna Foote. Hawks over the timeline. Deshauna Foote walks right into it. But no good. Rebounded by Killen. Killen over to Foster. That was the most casual walk-in three-pointer I think I've ever seen.
It was like it was nothing.
Towns to Harris. Foster on the Cave Arena logo. Tried to get it down to Killen. Good idea, but Magruder saw it the whole way. Deshauna Foote, does she try it again? Over to Ford. Ford can let it fly. 3-point, no good. Rebounded by Harris. Met immediately by Campbell and Foote. Foster came away with it. Tries to push it. Tries to go up. Blocked by Magruder. Over to Ford, tried to get it back to her. Campbell comes away with it, puts it on the floor, and up for 2. Looks like referee timeout. Towns took a little bit of a spill. Looks like Towns is going to be all right, though.
Yeah. Towns tried to get in front of Campbell, jumped up in front of her, and Campbell went directly under, dodged the block, and went off into the net. But a great sequence by the Hawks there. They were able to execute the steal. Then they executed, I think it was 3 passes before it immediately got there. And that's just showing that they are having supreme knowledge of where they are at any given moment.
Cable, right to left, crossover, dances into the lane and off the glass for 2. Deshauna Foote over the timeline for the Hawks to Magruder. Touch pass to Lynn. Lynn lets it fly and no good. That was a nifty touch pass there from Magruder. Didn't even think about it and just right over to Lynn on the far side wing.
We've seen some nifty passes from the Hawks.
I'll one-up you. I think the whole weekend we've seen some pretty nifty passes.
That's true.
Cable controls, right to left cross, 3-point attempt. Yes! Maya Cable.
She hasn't really been a factor just yet, but she, with that one, just shows that you cannot sleep on her.
Not at all, and we're seeing a good display of shooting from both sides right now. A little uncharacteristic of what we saw yesterday. Tried to get it inside. Ford to Lynn, but off the hand of Lynn and out of bounds. It'll go back to the Panthers. Cable to bring it up. Cable steps across the timeline. Has Foote. Foote, step for step, even after the 2 screens. Killen in the corner. Thought about it. Into the lane. Looks like we're going to have a foul on Cassidy Campbell. It'll be a foul on the floor nonetheless and stay with the Panthers. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Over to Harris. Here comes the dribble pull up, and it is good. Such an underrated part of the game nowadays is being able to shoot the mid-range consistently.
Everyone wants to dazzle with threes or Euro step their way to the basket, but if you execute a perfect jumper, then nothing can touch you.
Cassidy Campbell for 3 is no good. Looks like it's going to stay with the Panthers. And Ford is nabbed for another foul. And another dose of substitutes for both sides.
their bench, both of them, this is outdated, a little outdated information, but we're pretty even. 9 points for Huntington's bench, 10 points for Birmingham and Southern's bench, so they are both executing so well.
Kinston Davis up with the left and good. Kinston Davis with a nice takeaway. Read it the whole way. Some new faces in. Amani Thompson for the Panthers controlled. Brianna Williams also in there. Harris controls to Williams. Killen in the post. And a blocking foul on Magruder.
Killen and Magruder have been kind of stuck with each other. They are two bigs just defending each other, and Killen has the height advantage on Magruder, and it seems like every time she gets it, she's just unable to execute it into the hoop and finish the job because she's able to get the passes just completely fine.
And it seems like both teams are also adapting to the way that the game is being called right now and trying to draw those offensive fouls, as Killen's first attempt from the line is good. That's why we saw Magruder hit the deck after Killen started to get into the post. Killen's second attempt is off the front of the rim and rebounded by Magruder. Deshauna Foote to Lynn. Lynn weaves into the lane, gives it off to Magruder. Floater in for two. That was a great pass by Lynn to attack the baseline and just hand it off essentially to Magruder. Tried to feed it down into Harris. Looks like Harris is going to be fouled by Deshauna Foote.
I don't know if you want to call it non-competitive passing, but or something of that nature. But Huntington's just making it look so effortless to find whoever they need to. They are executing the passes completely fine. There's no hand reaching. It seems like everybody, whoever they choose to go with, is wide open.
Absolutely, and they're reading the defense really well. Looks like Deshauna Foote's going to be nabbed for a technical foul. And we're going to have a heavy dose of free throws right now. As Harris will go to the line to shoot, I believe, 2 for the technical foul and then shoot 2 for the shooting foul.
Early tech, with just 5 minutes left before halftime.
Harris's first attempt is good of the technical free throws. Here's the second. And then they'll completely reset and she'll shoot 2 more. And the second is no good. Oh, excuse me. Those were Harris's.
So those are the Harris
shooting foul.
Yeah, shooting fouls now.
And now it looks like Foster shooting the technical free throws, and the first is no good. Foster's second attempt will fall. And we're going to see a timeout from Coach Huff. And we're going to have the 30-second to extend into the media. And 1 point affair at Cave Arena. The Panthers up by 1. Eric, this has been pretty toe-to-toe so far.
It has been awesome. The pace has died down a little bit because both teams, obviously we had the string of free throws just now, but also it's just a little bit of the tempo has died down between both of the sides. And it seems like they're taking their time a little bit more. There's less emphasis to drive through the arc and drive into the paint. There's more emphasis to take your time around, find your shooting lane, and go for it.
Yeah, and we've seen a pretty interesting way of officiating so far. And it is what it is, and you can't ask for much. It's been consistent on both ends of the floor for both teams, so not much to be upset about. And after all of the free throw attempts from the shooting foul and the technical free throws, we'll be back to action. And Huntingdon does lead by 1 point. Foster controls over the timeline with Lynn in front. Double screen, bounce pass. Foster still has it. Into the lane. And it looks like Harris is fouled. And there's the push. And it's going to be free throws as Huntingdon is over the limit. And the first is good. 2-point advantage for the Panthers. Just about 5 minutes left in the first half. And the second is no good. Rebounded by the Panthers and taken away by the Hawks. Back to Lynn. Kinston Davis controls. On the far side with Carter. Lynn almost got it knocked away. Kinston Davis controls. Trap comes. Lynn, handoff to Magruder. There it is again. Right on the baseline. Foster goes through the double screen. Tries to get it down on the baseline. And it'll go in favor of the Hawks. Lynn controls, brings it up the floor for the Hawks. Over to Kinston Davis. Lynn into the middle, Magruder. Pass fake, skip pass, mid-range, no good. Rebounded by Harris. Harris, Foster, pass fake. Harris spin, pull up, no good. Rebounded by Carter. Hawks controlling, even affair. Lynn near side. Davis. Lynn. Mid-range, pull up, no good. Rebounded by Carter. Carter, no good on the layup. Harris pushing tempo. Tried to get it up ahead. Kinston Davis takeaway. She'll take it into the lane and no good, and poked away by Carter, and back to the Panthers.
Man, what a good minute and a half or so back and forth. It seems like both squads right now just cannot find the shooting touch. Huntingdon, obviously, if you're Huntingdon, you'd like to come up with at least 4 points from that, because you had the one that you missed that was taken away by Panthers on a turnover. And then you had the steal, the easy layup that was missed. So Hawks should be ahead right now, but still tied up.
Killen is blocked by Magruder, and it will be a foul, and the Hawks will gain possession and go the other way.
The Hawks playing great defense to kind of ease their offense along.
Looks like Coach Huff is going to get nabbed with a warning from the officials. Huntingdon has all the right to bark at the officials right now. Kinston Davis crossover. Over to Lynn. And Lynn's going to be nabbed with a travel.
He had the, of course, warning the coach. We just had the tech to Deshauna Foote as well. So obviously just some friction building between the referee, and I believe that's the same referee who issued Foote the tech. So a little bit of friction growing between red and stripes.
Killen catches high post. Double comes down to Towns. Cable. Towns again. Jab step. Gets into the lane, over to Killen. Killen puts the ball on the floor, but looks like we're going to have an offensive 3-second call. You don't see that every day. And it will go back with the Hawks. Lynn controls for the Hawks, brings it across the timeline. Davis. Lynn goes left. And another travel. Just the little things right now hurting both teams with under 2 left to play in the first half.
Yeah, both teams kind of playing with a little bit of urgency, also letting the fundamental slip, it seems, of just getting the ball to the hoop in general. They're skipping a couple steps to get there.
Killen weaves into the lane and one. Looks like they're going to get Carter. Yes, Carter with the blocking foul. Count the basket. Old-fashioned three-point play coming your way. Killen takes a deep breath. Couple bounces. And good. Old-fashioned three-point play for the Panthers. 3-point lead for the Panthers.
Don't be surprised if Huntingdon tries to shoot a little more after taking that one. Just try to build this lead and entering the final minute.
Minute 18 and counting. Kinston Davis throws it up top. Over to Carter. Carter goes baseline, tries to get it through to Kinston Davis, but it looks like it's knocked away by Towns. Amani Thompson comes in. Inbound to Lynn, Magruder, and not on the same page. Magruder and Davis can't connect.
Rare sight to see from the Hawks at this point.
I will admit, through the first, let's call it 19 minutes, the Hawks look way better than last night when they faced the Eagles of Asbury. Asbury has arrived, and they are getting ready. And Magruder with another block on Killen underneath the basket. 51.3 seconds remain in the first half. Towns inbounds to Foster. To Thompson. Thompson gets to the free throw line. Skip past to Towns. Towns with the travel. I mean, that was as blatant as it comes.
Yeah.
Was moving a million miles per hour and just didn't keep that pivot foot.
Yep. It happens, just a mental error. It's exactly what happened there.
Lynn. Davis at the elbow. Davis gets into the lane. Floater, no good. Rebounded by Towns. The Panthers have the opportunity for the last shot. We saw this all day yesterday. See if they can convert on having the last shot of the half. And up and no good. Towns back in for 2. Clock. And that'll do it for the first half. The Panthers with a 5-point lead going into the break. Eric, this is good. This is what we needed to start the afternoon.
This is a gritty matchup. The Panthers have not been as technically sound as the Hawks at this point, but they're getting the job done. They lead 5 going into half. They're not making it look pretty. They're not playing technical out there, but they're finding the hoop, and sometimes that's all you really need.
This looks like a much more evenly matched matchup for both sides going into the break and what will be the second half before we finish the first game of the afternoon. If you're unaware, we are here all afternoon on YouTube, where we will have 2 more games broadcasted live from Cave Arena. We'll have Piedmont women's basketball taking on the Asbury Eagles and Piedmont men's basketball taking on the Birmingham Southern Panthers. Eric, looks like we're setting ourselves up for a great day of basketball.
Yeah, if this opening match is anything to indicate, then it's going to be very exciting. Of course, we've hyped up the Asbury-Piedmont matchup, and I think we both agree that is going to be an insanely fun game. But this one is maybe, if you want to keep the boxing analogy, kind of slotted on the undercard, but is really performing like the main event.
And what we can go ahead and highlight at the break is Huntingdon with 9 steals going into the half and have forced 15 turnovers on the Panthers. That's exactly what you wanted to see. I know you mentioned in that first half that the Hawks are playing good defense. They've just kind of got the short end of the stick. And, I mean, it's good that they're only down by 5 points.
Yeah, and this kind of gap is not insurmountable by any means, and it's not that the Panthers have made really any distance. And usually when you have contests such as these where you have a team playing more technically than the other, more often than not, the one that's cleaner is going to come out on top.
And what we can go ahead and talk about is the Birmingham Southern bench is outscoring the Hawks bench by 11 points.
20-9. Very interesting there, but also looking at it, Huntington has really kept the same 5 other than the front. I think it was the first quarter where they kind of put in a different group trying to see what was going to work. But overall, they've stuck with their same. They stuck with Kinston Davis and Lynn and Magruder, and they've kind of weaved in and out of what they're trying to move in forward, getting some important minutes for them. But really, the bench for them hasn't necessarily performed to their what you would hope, especially in this fashion, because there's a sizable gap between themselves and Birmingham Southern.
And it's interesting to see. We basically saw Kinston Davis play that entire game against Asbury last night, and she's only played 8 minutes. Let's call it 9 minutes in this afternoon. So she's basically played half of the contest so far, and she has plenty more opportunity to play the entirety of the second half, and I think we're going to see her out on the floor a little bit more.
And I wonder if that's by design. You mentioned Davis really was the only one keeping that contest relatively close for the Eagles. So I wonder if just kind of stashing her, giving an extra breathing room, stashing her to the second half so she can come up big and have an electric second half like she did last night is the plan.
And I think the bench for Huntingdon will have to be more involved in their hopes of winning this matchup. But, Eric, that'll do it for us going into the break. About 11 minutes remain until the start of the second half. We're going to stand up, stretch, get some water. We recommend you do the same as we have a long, long day of basketball ahead of us. But stay here on YouTube. You're listening to Piedmont University Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Start of the second half here at Cave Arena between Huntingdon and Birmingham Southern. And we have the Hawks starting off the second half, inbounding the ball, but the offensive possession to no avail. And the Hawks are off and running. The Panthers are off and running with it again. Harris catches in the middle. Harris to Keys, Putman into the lane, pull-up jumper, no good. Campbell comes away with it. Back to Davis. A full court heave. Magruder tried to get it down to Lynn. I think Magruder could have put that one up.
Yeah. She was getting a lot of coverage on her, though, so I guess she just saw that Lynn was not in the trees as much as she was, so went for the safer option.
Foster controls for the Panthers with a 5-point lead. Kinston Davis with a takeaway. Foster on her hip. And it looks like it's going to be a foul on the floor. Hawks to inbound to Magruder. Nifty bounce pass to Lynn. Lynn floater and no good. And it's going to stay with the Hawks with 22 on the shot clock.
Good pass by Magruder. It was just kind of like behind the back bounce pass and accurate as ever.
That was pretty nifty. Mm-hmm. A little post playmaker action. And inbound from Foot to Lynn. Now keep in mind, if you weren't with us for the first half, Deshauna Foot is on a technical foul. Magruder takes it away and puts it off the glass for 2. Deshauna Foot is on a technical foul, so if she does get one more, she will be disqualified from the competition. Deshauna Foot on Foster. Putman from way downtown, no good. Rebounded by Lynn. Lynn puts the ball on the floor. 3-on-3 situation. Magruder out to Campbell. Campbell mid-range, yes. 1-point advantage for the Panthers now. To Cable. Cable floater, no good. But it looks like there's going to be a blocking foul on the Hawks.
Davis cannot believe it. Is on Campbell, though.
It looks like it's going to be a shooting foul, though, as Killen and Ojiwani step back in. Maya Cable to shoot 2 from the line. First one is good. Second attempt is also good. 3-point lead for the Panthers. Kinston Davis catches on the near side. Into the middle with Campbell. Campbell thought about it. Over to Lynn. Lynn puts the ball on the floor and loses it. Towns comes away. Cable in front. Cable slows down the pace. Good decision. And now the offense runs through Foster. Double screen, patented by this BSC offense. Foster catches far side. Cable from downtown, no good. Campbell brings it down. Davis running. Davis with a free layup off the glass for 2. 37-36 in favor of the Panthers. Harris looks to check in. Foster controls. Towns on the near side. And looks like we're going to have a loose ball foul, or an off-ball foul, rather.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like an offensive foul, excuse me.
Is that what it was?
On Killen, yeah, it looks like her and Magruder got tied up.
Okay.
And it will go to the Hawks. Down by 1, 37-36. Foster pushing tempo. Finds Harris. It's interesting to see Harris. And a little bit of a miscue there. Looks like Coach Johnson making some changes after the miscue. And Harris will step out. And Williams will step in. Something interesting that I do want to highlight is Harris is so nifty in the mid-range. It's surprising that she doesn't want to shoot three-pointers.
Maybe it's just a comfortability thing. Just a lot more comfortable when she's able to have her team up there close enough to get the rebound if she misses it. But she's so good from mid-range, it's rare that she misses it.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a good point. Just speculation.
Well, some shooters do feel more comfortable in the mid-range than the three-point because if you've ever been on a basketball court, it's a long way away. And the dribble kick out back to Towns. Towns to Williams. Foster tries to get into the lane. Yes. About 13 feet out will go. And the Panthers maintain the three-point advantage. Magruder catches in the middle out to Jackson. Jackson pull-up jumper. Yes.
This is the type of pace we like to see.
Foster brings it across the timeline. Towns to Williams. Foster on the far side, looking to be more of a facilitator. Forces it into Killen and taken away by Deshauna Foote. Jackson to Davis. Davis slows the pace down a little bit. Deshauna Foote keeps it. Jackson, far side. Skip pass to Davis. Davis throws it through to Jackson. Jackson thought about shooting it. Magruder, nifty spin, but fouled, trying to break the double.
That was a long walk from the Hawks to get to Magruder. It seems like no one really had an intention of shooting from three, but they were all just trying to get it to where it would be able to shoot for two. It was a good job by the Panthers to kind of pollute the arc and make sure that there wouldn't be a lot of anything to be done if you did pass inside.
It does seem like Magruder is confident in herself. And one for Kinston Davis. Seems like Magruder's confident. The team is confident in Magruder to win that one-on-one matchup between her and Killen on the inside.
Well, she's earned that. It's been really one-sided between that sort of coverage because they really have been paired together. The obvious intention is to pair the big with the big.
Right.
That's the intention there. And Magruder has completely dominated that matchup.
Absolutely. And when we come back from this timeout, it looks like one side did take a timeout.
I think it was the Panthers side that took a timeout.
It looks like it, but this may extend into the media timeout, the first one of the third quarter. And whenever we get back, Kinston Davis will shoot 1 of 1 from the line to see if she can convert the three-point play.
Whereas it was Kinston Davis last night, this has really been a good team effort from the Hawks. Everyone is playing a role. I would even say that if you want to pick MVPs, if you want to place that label, it's got to be Magruder.
I think so, too.
Standing in there in the paint and just being a fixture there. And like we said earlier, it seems like the entire team is confident that Magruder is going to win that matchup.
And as of our last stat sheet, Magruder had 1 assist, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. And about, let's call it 18 minutes of play now. Actually, way more than that. Be about 22 minutes of action. And Kinston Davis will shoot 1 of 1 from the line after the basket was counted on the foul. And Davis's free throw is good. The Hawks in front now by 2. 41-39, about halfway through the third quarter of action. Offensive 3 seconds on Killen, and it'll go back to the Hawks. That's just a mental lapse that you can't have.
Yeah, that is a tough look.
That's a hard one to swallow. Kinston Davis controls. A little bit of a zone look now from the Hawks. Dump off from Magruder to Foot off the glass. And then for 2.
The Panthers trailing away a little bit here. They're still very much in the hunt for the lead, but they have not really played to their first half standards.
Down to Killen. Killen tries to go off the glass and rebounded by Davis. Davis into the lane, Euro step off the window, no good. And it will be a loose ball foul. Looks like it's going to go against Harris for fouling, Jackson. And I believe Birmingham Southern is already over the limit.
And this is a big moment this is a big window, I should clarify, for the Panthers, because if they don't stop this momentum for the Hawks have the capable offense to just pick it up, run with it, and this could be a no contest.
Jackson's first attempt from the line is good.
And warning to Nyla Johnson.
And another warning, yeah. That's interesting. That means both coaches for both sides now have warnings in the book.
Coming from the same referee.
Yeah, it could potentially lead to a technical foul on either coach. Thompson for the Panthers tries to get it to Foster. Foster pull up, 15-footer, no good. Killen went up and blocked by Magruder, but the follow-up from Ojiwani. She was fouled on the way up, so she'll shoot 2.
Foul on Deshauna Foot.
And Ford will step in for Foot, which that looks to be. Let's figure it out. Her 4th foul. Foot's 4th foul of the afternoon.
Yep, sure is.
That's a tough look for Deshauna Foot, because she only has 1 more foul to play with before she is disqualified.
She's also juggling with a tech.
That is true.
Juggling with hand grenades and chainsaws.
That doesn't sound like a good time.
No.
Kinston Davis from downtown. No good. Magruder keeps it alive. Ford, Campbell. Nice pass to Jackson. And it's going to be an offensive foul on Jackson.
Why not try that, Yeah. You've been getting a lot of calls your way, and just keep on seeing if you can ride the momentum.
Yeah, the offensive fouls are very popular this afternoon.
Very popular.
Putman steps back in for Harris.
They're going for that instant offense look.
Putman definitely traveled, but that's okay. Panthers remain on offense. Killen catches in the corner. Thought about shooting. Nice spin move. Tried to bounce past Ojiwani, and it will be a turnover. The Hawks get the ball back with 2:27 left in the third.
We talked about going into the break how the Hawks have played so much better than they did last night. They're also playing a lot cleaner. And right now, that is really showing. The Panthers are really reeling right now. They can't find the passes. They are getting dominated in the paint. They have so much coverage on them. And the Hawks are really just doing what they're doing now.
And the Hawks are just looking much more efficient on offense.
Effortless passing. There's no pressure on anyone with the rock at the moment. And that just leaves the Magruder game plan completely intact.
And Magruder's doing a good job at busting the zone and being the point. Magruder receives, dishes it off to Lynn for a nice, nifty pass on the baseline. Huntingdon's doing exactly what they need to do to exploit the zone. And now they have a 7-point advantage because of it.
That's steal.
Pass down. Campbell with a full head of steam lays it off the glass for 2. You know who on the outlet pass? Nobody else but Magruder. And a timeout.
Phenomenal run by Huntingdon there.
Coach Johnson wants to talk it over. 30-second timeout by Coach Johnson will extend into the media. What a turn of events as the Huntingdon Hawks now lead by 9 with 1:29 left in the third.
I think we both knew, especially last night. You've been around this conference a lot longer than I have, and you've seen the capability that Huntingdon has. And the way they performed last night, I think you said it in the first quarter, first half, said that's not Huntingdon. That's not them. So they came out in the second half. They have a better game plan, and they actually started to fight back, but they had already dug themselves the grave, to be honest. They come out today. They're playing better basketball on the fundamental side of it. They're playing excellent defense, and they are playing their game plan. They're adapting to what's around them, but at the core of it all is what they are trying to do offensively, and that is carried over into the second half. And the Panthers right now, their shooting is completely disabled. Anytime they try to get it to an outside shooter, it's getting stolen away. Anytime you try to get it into an inside shooter, it's stolen away. Huntingdon has completely neutralized Birmingham Southern right now.
And that's exactly what I expected Huntingdon to do. I think they were just outmatched last night. But good for Huntingdon to have short-term memory, to flush last night and move on to today and take today as a totally new day and have the opportunity to really put it to the Panthers. And they've done a good job so far.
Yeah, that's what makes a good athlete, a short memory.
Yep. The memory of a goldfish.
Yep.
Putman for 3, no good. Off the back iron, rebounded by Harris. Harris to Williams. Williams air ball. He's brought down by Ford. Kenson Davis slows the pace. Good move there from Davis to slow it down. Davis knows that in the half-court set, they're winning the matchup. Ford can shoot. In and out. Foster with the rebound. 2-on-2 now. Bounce pass to Harris. Harris off the glass for 2. Len has it after the inbound. A little bit of a press now from Birmingham Southern. Throws it down to Magruder. Magruder puts it on the floor with a nifty pass. My goodness, Magruder's doing it all. Campbell just couldn't handle that one. And a nice tip. Foster puts it on the floor. Pull up mid-range is good. Davis slows it down. Putman on her. Magruder setting the screen. Has it knocked away. Ford. Oh. Great awareness by Ford to put it up, though.
Yes.
Time was expiring, and she just heaved it, but it looks like we got in a little bit of a tough spot.
I've never seen that before. This is the first time I've seen that in action.
Don't they call that? I was going to say they call it a wedgie, right?
I believe you're right, yeah.
Well, the referee's trying hard. I wonder if we can get a shot on this. Referee's trying to nudge the ball loose, if you can see on your screen, on the right side of your screen. This is pretty entertaining.
There you go.
Coach Purdy to the rescue.
Woo!
Great job, Coach.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, that'll do it for the third quarter nonetheless. 5-point advantage for the Hawks still after going into the break down 5. They've really turned it around. Now we have 10 minutes left to play in today's contest.
Yeah, and if the clock didn't expire, I believe the Panthers were trying to get on a little bit of a run there. They were shooting better, and they had a couple of really good passes to outwit the Hawks in the paint. But, of course, that's just 2 points that they were able to put up there. It just shows that they were able to build themselves a little bit of breathing room going in, and were able to score enough in the third quarter. And it was going to take a lot faster-paced stuff by the Hawks, and they've done that. And I still think the Hawks are having the edge in this contest.
If Magruder can continue to distribute the way she is and find the other Hawks on the cuts and in the wide open scenarios,
exactly,
and they can make the shots, it's going to get ugly. Putman for 3, no good. Rebounded by Harris. Deja vu. Harris pull-up jumper, no good. Over the back foul on Towns. Actually, do you see that too?
Yeah.
The push.
The push.
The push. But nonetheless, it's going to go to the Hawks.
Like a ghost.
It has been.
It's coming back.
Man. It's like Thanos.
It is.
It's inevitable. Kinston Davis slowing the pace down. Puts the ball in her right hand. Puts the ball on the floor. Goes to her left. Nifty layup by Kinston Davis to put it off the window for 2.
If you saw in that last play, first just an incredible basket, but you saw Campbell break out through the backside and open herself up in the corner, and that allows them to bounce past to Magruder, and Campbell's wide open. They didn't even see her move over there. That's a pure aspect to the Hawks game, that they are able to really kind of orbit Magruder, whoever's really in the center of the paint. They can orbit so many pieces around and just always be open.
Well, that's how you break the zone, is you have that one person, that focal point in the middle. Oh, tough break from Magruder. Looked like she got the block cleanly.
It was a little blurry up there, but it did look like Magruder did everything. They're just sometimes unfortunate falls.
Just an unlucky break.
Yep.
7-point advantage for the Hawks. Harris's first attempt is good. Harris' second is also good. Substitution for the Panthers, Putman out. And I believe Amani Thompson steps in. Ford brings it across. Snatch back. Trying to get it to Kinston Davis. Kinston Davis has it. Looks like Birmingham Southern got out of the zone. And it's going to be a foul on Foster.
It was good defense being put up by Foster, but maybe perhaps wandered a little too far.
Magruder, nifty spin, and no good on the layup. Magruder just getting some unlucky.
Yeah, that is really unlucky. Magruder really has been executing the job to perfection today.
That was a nifty move.
It was a spin move and got onto the onside hand. Goodness.
Man, that's a tough break for Magruder. Cable brings it across for the Panthers. Harris catches. Williams. Harris pull up, no good.
Ooh.
It's going to be a foul on Campbell.
Campbell's arm got caught in that when when Brianna Williams came down with that ball, Campbell's right arm was caught in between the ball and Williams' grasp.
And the putback by Williams is good. Kinston Davis has Cable on her. Oh, nifty pass. Finds it out to Campbell. Ford for three. No good. Ford almost grabbed her own miss. Williams is going to take it the other way. Williams, pull-up jumper. Yes! Timeout by Coach Huff. And it looks like it's going to be a 30. And it's going to extend into the media timeout. Now we got a one-point affair.
Yeah, it's kind of sneaky one-point affair, too. Both teams have kind of picked up their pace a little bit here. The Panthers are still bobbing, weaving through their way, not playing the cleanest, but still getting their job done. And the Hawks, definitely more a business-like approach, or just clocking in, doing their work. And there's still a little bit of a toss-up in this competition.
And nonetheless, we got a couple players in foul trouble, which could change the outcome of this game. Deshauna Foote, who's been very good for the Hawks this afternoon with 7 points on the afternoon. And Kennedy Ryan Jackson has 9 points and also has 4 personal fouls.
I would think Foster's creeping up there as well.
I think Foster now has 4 personal fouls, which is a tough look for the Panthers.
That is their pivot point. Foster is their pivot player, and she has been suppressed so far, and she's not going to get a trip out on the floor coming out of the media timeout. But she's been a little suppressed in this contest at this point, but she's still so dangerous, and obviously Huntingdon knows that. And Foster also has gotten a little unlucky from the referees.
I think so too, and Lauren Towns also has 3 personal fouls, and Summer Killen with 3 personal fouls. So it looks like Magruder now has the matchup with Harris. Magruder. I definitely thought that pass might have been tipped, but it's going to go back to the Panthers.
Yeah. Had a lot of height on it to not be tipped.
Nonetheless, Panthers come away with it. Have the ball on offense with Cable. Over to Thompson. Thompson looking for somewhere to go. Over to Harris. Harris gets into the lane. Turnaround jumper. Yes. Man, Harris does that so well.
Valuable piece to have a mid-range shooter who is nearly automatic.
Magruder catches. Over to Ford. Ford gets into the lane and tried to get it back to Magruder, but it'll go out of bounds and stay with the Hawks. Deshauna Foote steps back in, and Lauren Lynn goes to the bench. This is a dangerous spot for Deshauna Foote, already having 4 personal fouls with 6:36 left in the contest. Birmingham Southern leads by 1, 52-51. And a turnover. Harris keeps it, gives it to Cable. Cable brings it out with Deshauna Foote in front of her. And Ford makes up for the missed opportunity. And it looks like she's fouled in the motion. And Ford's going to go to the line and shoot 2.
Interesting. It was really a questionable decision when the Panthers had the ball over there, because I really expected Harris to get the ball back from Cable and execute the mid-range jumper. It did happen. They decided to pass outside and take even more time, and right now it's costing them a couple points.
Ford's attempt is also good.
Cost them the lead, too.
Yeah. 1 point advantage for the Hawks now. Williams over to Harris. Harris into the mid-range pull-up jumper. Yes. There it is.
Automatic.
Mid-range from about 13 feet it's pure. Ford weaves into the lane. Magruder put back, no good. And it's going to be a foul on Magruder.
Yep. A little too blatant from Magruder.
And now Magruder has 4 fouls, and Huntingdon is over the limit, so it will result in free throws. It's another tough break.
Yep. Got a feeling we might be looking at a couple more of these coming down the stretch.
Yeah, in this last 5 minutes and 47 seconds of play, as Cable's first attempt is good, we're going to see potentially a lot of free throws. This very well could be like the men's game yesterday. And Cable in her second attempt is also good. And now
there's the lead.
There is the lead. 3-point advantage for the Panthers. As Creighton stepped on for the Hawks. Deshauna Foote has to get it across, gives it over to Davis. Davis. And it's going to be a foul. Deshauna Foote to inbound. Out to Ford. Ford to Campbell. Campbell for 3. No good. Thompson rebound. Thompson slows it down. Thompson to Cable. To Harris. Here comes the mid-range. Oh, nice pass. But it's going to be a travel on Ojawani. Deshauna Foote brings it across the timeline, but it's going to be a foul on Woods. And now I believe that means that Deshauna Foote will shoot free throws because Birmingham Southern is now over the limit. Tellis, will step in for Woods. Deshauna Foote's first free throw is no good, so that means it must have been a good foul.
Yep.
Deshauna Foote's second attempt is good. 56-54 now, 2-point advantage for the Panthers. Nice move by Cable, weaves into the lane, but no good. Rebounded by Campbell. Kinston Davis brings it up. Harris in front of her, she'll go to her left, floater, no good. Grabs her own miss. Out to Creighton. Down low. And it will be a turnover. And go back to the Panthers. About 4.5 left. 2-point advantage for the Panthers. Cable brings it across, gets in a tie-up. Ford is everywhere, but it will be a foul on Ford.
This is a good job by the Panthers to execute like this without Foster on the floor. Also without Putman. Two of their, Putman, good shooter, and Foster, we've discussed in length. But Harris has been getting it done as well as Cable.
Harris does put that one through. And the second attempt to extend the lead to 4 is also good. Deshauna Foot controls, goes right to left, out to Campbell. Campbell puts the ball on the floor. Pull up mid-range is no good. Rebounded by Ford. Ford looked to have been fouled, but to no avail. Over on the near side. Thompson controls up top. And into the lane for two, Ojawani.
This is going to be a burner down the stretch.
I think so too. 3.5 minutes to play. 6-point advantage. Campbell to cut the lead is no good. Rebounded by Cable. Cable's got to get forward. She does. Has Thompson. Thompson controls, looking to take away some of the clock. Gives it over to Cable. And it will be a foul. And it will result in more free throws. Substitutes.
I believe that was on Ford. You might want to be careful. She started racking them up a little bit here towards the end.
I think that is the fourth.
Yeah.
And Jackson and Magruder step back in.
Definitely got to turn it. Jackson to shoot a lot more here.
Thompson's first attempt is no good. And the second attempt rattles in there. 7-point advantage for the Panthers. Foot with Tellis in front of her. Gets over to Jackson. Jackson will be nabbed for a travel. Foster's back in with the 4 personal fouls. Over to Foster. Foster. Thompson to Foster.
Harris getting a lot of coverage from Magruder.
Tellis over to Thompson. Thompson tries to get it through, but draws a foul.
And, yeah, Johnson's out. 5th foul.
Man.
Everybody's walking on eggshells.
Yeah, everybody's in foul trouble right now.
No, Jackson, excuse me.
Thompson's first attempt is good.
I believe the only ones that are really clean are Lynn and Kenson Davis. Davis might have 1 for Huntingdon, but everybody else on the floor right now is in foul trouble.
Thompson did convert 2 of 2. Magruder gets into the lane, off the window for 2. Cable seeing some pressure. Tellis has it. Loses the ball. Deshauna Foot and a foot race. Has it taken away by Cable. Thompson slows it down. Deshauna Foot recovered well. And it will be a turnover. What a swing of events. A minute 46 left. 7-point advantage for the Panthers, and it will be the Hawks' ball. Cable, Foster, Ojawani, Harris, and Thompson all in there. Lynn, Magruder, Davis, I believe Creighton, and Foot in there. Kinston Davis controls on the near side. Step back jumper is no good. Rebounded by Thompson. Thompson works it up the near sideline. Great defense. Now the trap comes, and it will be a timeout by BSC.
Whew. Starting to feel it.
Yeah, it looks like it's just in reach now for the Panthers to walk away with this one.
Yep. 7 points. And they have kind of just stolen away the lead. It hasn't necessarily been loud, but they have just quietly chipped away and now have built this big lead versus the Hawks.
They've done a good job.
Yeah, the Hawks just... And because of the foul trouble, they haven't been able to put in their big pieces. You just had Jackson get fouled out. Magruder's in trouble. So is Foote. So they're having to play just so conservatively that it very well might be affecting how their game is usually played.
And the inbound to Harris is successful with a minute 20. Foster, one more to Ojawani. And she is fouled on the way up. She'll go to the line and shoot two. And Deshauna Foote has now fouled out of the contest.
There you go.
And Ford will step in.
Ford also in trouble.
I believe Ford does have 4 as well.
It's either 3 or 4.
Either way, it's foul trouble.
Yes.
And the first attempt from Ojawani was no good. And the second attempt is no good as well, but a great rebound by Cable to keep it alive. Thompson catches on the near side. Thompson with a nifty crossover. Had Foster on the back door. Cable controls, 1 minute to go. Cable has to have a desperation heave, and it's blocked by Magruder with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Enough time to do something.
Yep. Just 47 seconds left. It is getting, the light at the end of the tunnel is getting brighter and brighter for the Panthers.
And a takeaway by Davis. Davis keeps it going up to Ford. Ford with the layup, 41.1. And a 7-point advantage, and the Hawks are showing some desperation. Excuse me, a 5-point advantage. Ford takes it away. Ford has the one more pass taken away. And Cable throws it away. Still plenty of time with 24 seconds. Down by 5.
And the Hawks have shown that they can steal this ball away from the Panthers so many times before, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout here.
And yes, Coach Huff decides to call a timeout with 24 seconds to go and down by 5. And it will be a 30-second timeout.
Man.
Yeah, this is down to the wire, as we expected.
The Panthers still doing a good job. They like I said, they can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they're trying to control the ball as heavy as they can. And give a quick shout out to Amani Thompson. She has come in and really just, she's in no foul trouble. She can handle the tough defense being put against her. All she has to do is burn the clock, and that's exactly what she's done every time she gets possession. Yeah. She has been able to break for the tough coverage. She got put in the trap earlier, hit the timeout, and that's exactly what she needs to do.
She's done her job, to say the least. Davis gives it up to Lynn. Short clock. And it looks like it's going to be a foul, so it stops the clock and gives Kinston Davis 2 free throw attempts.
This is going to get interesting.
Yes, it will. Kinston Davis in her first attempt is good. If she makes this, it cuts the lead to 3 with plenty of time. You can either foul or take the ball off the inbound, as the second attempt is also good. And it will be a timeout. It'll be a full timeout for the Panthers. This is an interesting spot. 18.2, plenty of time in the world of basketball, and a 3-point advantage. This lead has slowly faded.
Yep, I would assume that they are going to load the court with shooters here. Probably keep Magruder in.
Oh, I'd assume
just because she's so potent in the paint. But good job by the Hawks to come back here.
Yep.
Because they really, not even that long ago, 52 seconds ago, they were 7 points behind. They looked maybe a little dead because the Amani Thompson, the ball coverage by the Panthers was just so suffocating. But now they have put themselves in a serious position to steal this game back.
And we will see if it happens. It does advance the ball for the Panthers, and they'll inbound right in front of their bench. This is an interesting spot. And a 5-second violation.
Yep. It's counting in your head.
And now the Hawks will get the ball back. And a very good timeout by Coach Huff, which will advance the ball to the other side of the table. And it will be a full timeout. This is, wow. It's a 3-point deficit for the Hawks.
With the Hawks getting the ball here, they're going to have plenty of time. Full 18 on the clock. You don't have to worry about the shot clock anymore. You're going to have the rest of the game to get the shot that you're going to want. It's still a 3-pointer. You're still a 3-point away from tying it.
Yeah, and it could potentially be.
But if you can get your rebound, if you can steal that away,
right,
which they have shown they can do so many times.
So what makes a lot of sense to me is if they give you the 2, you take the 2 and hope to take it off the inbound and put it back up for a free win, essentially, because you'll go up by 1.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what Coach Huff has drawn up. Desperation now. We'll see what the heave is. It looks to be the same play as before. And the free, too, but she is fouled on the way up. And Kinston Davis will go and shoot 2 again. And you know what that means? It does stop the clock.
It does.
And if you make both of these, then your next shot opportunity has the chance to win you the game.
And Kinston Davis hyping herself up at the line. She was in this position not 30 seconds ago. Well, at least on the clock, but
yeah, right.
she was in the same position.
And Kinston Davis' first attempt falls 63-61. Here we go. Kinston Davis' second attempt is good. Man, she's good from the line. Here we go. Couple substitutions.
Let's get dramatic.
It's not March yet, but we'll do it in December. Magruder steps out. Campbell in. Harris to inbound. And they'll get it away. And a takeaway by Ford. Ford puts it up and is fouled.
Wow.
Ford is going to the line. 8.2 seconds left. And now 1-point advantage.
Just wow.
It looks like Harris just fouled out of the ball game. And Putman is back in.
Great job by Harris for her team today. She did everything that she was supposed to do.
And Ford to the line. Ford's first is good. And we have a tie ball game with 8.2 remaining. Ford in her second attempt is good. And the Hawks have the lead again. Thompson to bring the ball up. Thompson gets it taken away. Kinston Davis with it. One. And that'll do it. The Hawks come away with the 1-point victory.
Oh, my goodness. You have got to be kidding me.
What a win for the Hawks to walk away in this rivalry game with a 1-point victory. Man, how about that?
Wow, that is the most exciting final minute of college basketball I've seen in a while. And that final minute stretched over the course of 5 minutes.
Sure. And we figured that would happen.
Yeah.
Right, with both teams in over the limit and all the above. Guys at home, thanks for tuning in. The Hawks walk away in the rivalry match with a 1-point victory, 64-63 for myself, Chad Hall, Eric Edmondson, and Reed Barnes on the camera, and Danielle Percival and all of her staff. We thank you for tuning in to this neutral site matchup, and we are getting ready for Piedmont women's basketball to be back in action against the Asbury Eagles in about 24 minutes time. Let's call it 4:15 for opening tip in what could be a potential heavyweight matchup between the future CCS opponents. We'll see you in a little bit.